Hey everyone, welcome to Spiritual Goddess.
Hello, everybody.
This is Jessie Ra, your Reiki master and your psychic goddess. So, he's my twin flame, and we are going to be talking about intellectualizing love or experiences with yourself or your twin flame or any type of relationship. So I don't want to just generalize this video for twin flames, but there is going to be a lot more because we are twin flames. So we're going through these experiences ourselves, and we're learning as we go. And what's coming up for us is trying for me to convey to him what I really am feeling, and then him intellectualizing what I'm feeling or what I'm saying that I'm feeling, which becomes a tug of war, and then there's no solution. There's more confusion, and there's more of intellect, trying to understand it, like forcing something to be understood from both parts. I can be probably pushing way too much for him to understand, and I'm not really accessing that part of me that needs to be more understanding. Or there's also the understanding things from an intellectual way, and then not helping him understand it and helping him have a better picture of what's going on. And I feel like a lot of men are disconnected from that place, from the feminine aspect of themselves, because they've been programmed to be more intellectual with their reality or themselves.
Right. So it's like a continuous balancing experience, because the divine masculine is there to serve and protect and honor the queen. And when the queen is able to have a serene space to be able to be fully heart-centered and have that space provided by her king, then that's where the optimal balance lies. And so when one,
And that's where you create like a big expansion of not only light for earth, and not only harmonious energy and balance, like you say, like the yin and the yang, when they can meet together without war. But in order for them to even balance, I feel like there has to be some type of tug and war thing going on,
yes,
because they're trying to find balance within the frequency of it. And everything's energetic, and it might seem very physical to the intellect, and that's where it goes wrong, to trying to understand the energy behind what's happening. And the woman feels completely emotional, because the woman is more connected to their feminine energy or to their heart, so they're um, more available to sort of be a vessel of that energy to come through. But it's a lot coming through, and there's so much healing that needs to take place within this energy. And this, I'm talking more from a collective place, and then I'm going to go back to the individual. It's all sort of collectively. The feminine energy needs a lot of reassurance and a lot of support. And even when it seems that it's so chaotic, and or when it seems that it is unfair, maybe because women can be very emotional, and they can be hard on the masculine energy, because we've been suppressed for so long. And collectively, what's happening with everyone in the world, it's that feminine energy's been suppressed, and it can no longer be suppressed. It doesn't want no half-ass. It wants its rightful place. And why not have that rightful place that belongs to the feminine energy? We were talking, I was actually making another video earlier, and I was saying that Father God was programmed to be the only one that existed in our consciousness. So we were programmed to bow down to a father, and we missed the mother aspect of the goddess, which we've been missing in all of us, to like really honor that, and also bow and give honor to that energy, which is the feminine energy. So we've suppressed women and we suppress the feminine energy in men, and I think this is where they have such a hard time understanding like what it is that we're trying to say,
Right.
or what it is that we're trying to do. Like, you know, even us, sometimes we are programmed to intellectualize love, and some of us are enabling behavior that is not healthy, and by intellectualizing the feminine energy and saying that it's just unconditional love, and it's, you know, it's we generalize love, and we make it seem that this is what it is. The feminine energy is just unconditional love, but there is another side to that energy. There's the side of fire, of passion, of like a lion, you know, like a lion that protects her what do you call them? Her little babies, her cubs. And you're like, I don't know. And I feel that when we intellectualize again our love, our spirituality, the twin flame union, even a soulmate union, any relationship, we go wrong because we generalize how we're supposed to be feeling every single second, you know, or how we're supposed to react every single time in every single circumstance, and it makes us robotic, and it doesn't make us really express ourselves from that creative place that both the feminine and the masculine energy we all want to integrate. What do you think? What is the hardest thing for you to come to feel when it comes to connecting with me in an emotional level, and why is it so hard for you to go there?
I think that it's, you know, it's like trying to describe music, you know, or trying to describe a color. You know, it's something that just has to be experienced. And I think that, you know, when the feminine is coming forward in a strong way and exuding that strength and exuding that power, it's intimidating to the male ego, because the male ego wants to make sense of things and all that. But the feminine energy is trying to paint a picture through the energy that is only interpreted through the feeling nature. And then if the divine masculine, or we'll just say the masculine, because the divine masculine is balanced in that feeling nature. But if they're not balanced in that feeling nature, then it's just going to be frustration. You know,
Yes.
It's like
Because
I said,
you're trying so
to
hard.
describe it.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
trying to
trying
describe
too
it all
hard.
the time. You know,
I want to know what it is. You know, and I feel like it's not only happening to men, but it also with women trying to describe something. You can, when it's time for you to describe something, it's gonna come naturally, like the flow of water, like the flow of river. You know, it flows wherever it needs to go. And this is feminine energy. This is feminine energy in Mother Earth, and that's why things flow so easily, right? And they die when they need to die. You know, they need to go and try to be transmuted into something else when time needs to come to an end in that aspect, in that phase of life. And we sometimes cannot have every detail, and our intellect does not have to capture every single thing. It has to be felt, and a feeling cannot be described all the time. And I think that there's a lot of pain, and this is the reason why a lot of men can't really tap into their hearts, because if they do, they have to surrender to the pain.
So much pain.
So much pain.
You know, we were talking about that the other day, where it's like, you know, it's like there is so much pain that literally when the masculine that has been suppressed within their femininity and their ability to to feel it literally, when you open that heart chakra up, you just drop to your knees because the pain is so intense, because there's so much backed up. And so it takes a lot of a lot of courage, you know, like you have to be a divine, courageous warrior to go in and be able to feel your heart and let yourself fall to your knees and let everything that you think is true and right and just fall away for the sake of the higher elevation of connecting to that balance of feeling and intellect.
Yeah. And
I'm totally intellectualizing this right now. No, but it's real because I've been going through a lot of. I mean, I'm sure many of us have been going through a lot of experiences where you get.
No, it's true because there's like I said, there's a moment when you can describe things. It's a moment when you can't, and when you're experiencing them, you really can't. If you can describe it, you have a vision in your mind. If you let your heart guide you. And this is where a lot of people have a hard time doing that. Women are more connected. We're more, we're not programmed to be quiet. Boys don't cry. We don't have that program so much instilled. But it all depends on how you were raised. Because there's women that have been raised in very dysfunctional homes where they were told to be quiet. So, what's happening is that there's a lot of pain that's coming through that a lot of people don't want to feel. So it is safer for us to intellectualize not only our love for one another, but for intellectualize our spirituality, intellectualize our pain. And I work with a lot of clients where when they get to talk to me, get to talk to us, and we start to point out where this pain's coming from, they start to feel it. And because they were like, I just felt like I was intellectualizing my pain, and that's what I wouldn't feel it, because they'll be like, okay, I know I have this pain, but I don't feel it. So it's intellect trying to describe what the feeling is, and you can. It basically, if you have to surrender to that frequency, and surrendering is accessing your heart chakra. And a lot of people don't know how to do this because we've been programmed to use only our mind and let the mind take pilot. And this is where the men have a hard time accessing their heart because they've been programmed to use their mind only for everything. And so basically love becomes a place in the mind, and affection becomes a place in the mind. And this is why it's so intellectual, like doing certain things to prove love. I see a lot of spiritual men out there that, and I don't even want to use spiritual because I feel like everyone's spiritual. Everyone has a body, so everybody is spirit. So everybody has a spirit, so it doesn't matter. Well, what I was trying to say is there's a lot of men out there that are conscious men, and they think that they are conscious, but they are not really tapping into their heart chakra.
Because they know a lot of shit, and I can tell you about everything.
Because they know a lot of things. They know a lot of philosophies, and they read all these books, and it sounds so good, and at some level it sounds true. And but women are starting to really feel their intuition and start to tap in there and start to put two and two together. And then this doesn't make sense because your actions, they speak louder than your words and what you preach you are or think about love. I feel like the feminine energy is really, like, there's no way to run away from this. Like, we have to give in, not only women but also men and general everyone. And that's what's happening with twin flames. We are finding that we have to give in. Men have to give in. They have to surrender to the goddess. And I'm not talking from a place of ego. I'm talking from a place of true honor. True honor and respect and adoration. And when you cannot find that place to unify yourself within that energy, because unifying and honoring and surrendering to the goddess, you're surrendering to the goddess within. You're surrendering to the frequency of the feminine energy that's been suppressed in this world within. He will surrender to his own divine feminine energy and honor it and surrender to that. And that is where you unify yourself as one, and you have a sacred marriage within yourself. And so two complete souls become one. And I feel that this is what's happening to everyone. And also, women are to be honored and protected by men, but not intellectually. And we're just not falling for the intellect anymore, guys. You know, it has to be shown and proven from not only intellect, but unifying both the divine mind and the heart, and being able to be a vessel to show that.
Absolutely, to be the right example for that. And I would say to women, you know, I know that generally speaking, women's intuition is, you know, far surpassed, you know, males, and that's a super generalization, but I gotta say that for the sake of what I'm saying, because a lot of women doubt their intuition, you know, and that has a lot to do with the patriarchal domination that instills that if it doesn't make logical sense, then it's not true. So the woman is always has that self-doubt, you know, and not being able to walk in that confidence. And, you know, for men, that's what divine masculinity is, being able to honor that intuition. Even if we aren't on that level of intuition, we can at least bring that level of respect and honor to that ability that divine feminine has to tap into that higher heart and be able to give a very, very pure message. So my advice to women with your intuition is hold fast with your intuition and let it lead you, no matter what the opposition, or no matter what intellectualization tactics come and try to dissect it and say, no, you don't need to think this way. This is way out of line. You're just way off.
You're over emotional. You're overreacting. Like I said, the fire within the feminine energy is not just. I feel like we generalize love in so many ways, intellectualize it. Like, it's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be this way. You're supposed to be loving at all times. And let me tell you something, that the fire within the feminine energy is, like I said, like a lion right now. And like you said, you have to defend it. You have to defend it. And that's where a lot of us are not really truly understanding. Like, we can't intellectualize this fire. This fire is going to move how it moves in order to get its point across, and it's going to do what it needs to do. And the more that you fight it, the more you're just fighting yourself. And so if you are stopping yourself from saying what you need to say, you know, to your twin flame or your relationship or anybody, you know, if you're stopping yourself from saying it because there's a program in the intellect that's telling you that that's not the way to say it, then that is just manipulation, and you are not really accessing the divine feminine energy within the fire of your being. We have the sun and moon, so we have these two amazing, powerful generators that are us. They're both the yin and the yang. We can't mute one of them just because it's not convenient to the other one. It just doesn't work this way. It's not going to win. And we're not going to win. And we're always going to feel like we're at war, because we're at war with that truth that really wants to come out and say whatever you need to say to your loved one, to anything. Like, it's happening to all of us. And it feels like death sometimes, because it's like, I have to say what I need to say at this moment and defend my respect, my integrity, my dignity. And a lot of us being so, I don't know, I guess disconnected. Disconnected. And I really do want to advise anybody that needs any type of spiritual counseling, especially for twin flame couples. And not only twin flames, but we also do spiritual counseling individual for If you know, even if you're not in twin flame, we do spiritual counselings for everyone in soul family, soul sisters, soul brothers, and we do psychic readings. And if you need a session with us, don't hesitate. If you're guided to, divine source will guide you to us.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's all we have to say for today. May you be blessed in your journey and find the truth and the connection to your divine feminine energy and masculine energy. We love you.
Much love, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.